It's
Yeah.
been described as an uncontroversial blog post regarding big tech, but in the end, it was a catalyst that cost a public servant his job. Josh Crook worked for the federal government in the industry department. He's a regular contributor to a small blog, and it was there he said the pandemic was beneficial for big tech because people were isolated and it was the only way to connect. There was no criticism or naming of big tech companies, nor did he have a go at the government in any way. 3 months later, Crook was ordered into a meeting with his boss, who told him to remove the post or face the sack. Originally, he decided to remove it, but later quit his position in order to talk about the censorship. Robert, there are rules about what you can do when you work for any institution, especially public posts, when it comes to being employed with the government. Is this fair enough?
No, I don't think it is. Look, yes, there are those rules, but he was very smart. He didn't name big tech. He didn't have a go at the government. It was just literally an observation, and that's his free speech to do. He has a right to free speech. He said nothing about the government, and he said nothing about big tech. I read another report that said it was the most benign thing, the most benign blog post ever. And it was just ridiculous. He also made another complaint once, or not a complaint, sorry, a post where he just made a joke and also made something out of what had been said by the Prime Minister and by the Chief Medical Officer, that Australia was in competition with other countries to get medical supplies. Now, he just kind of repeated that line and that idea. He was then told to remove that post as well because it made the government look chaotic. Now, that to me is just heavy-handed, unfair, and this is just stupid.
It's definitely heavy-handed. I think the thing that gets me about this is that he quit. So I think that he should have actually seen this through and even put the post back up. And if they had decided to sack him, that's more of a story, because it's one thing to make a threat. It's another to go through it. The boss could absolutely be using his power of position, but not have the right to go through with it. So I don't know. It's a hard one, Ben, and you do have to be considerate about your employers when you're an employee, but we do have the right to free speech. And look, we keep saying we want people online to be using their real names, but now you see this and understand why people would use fake names,
Yeah, but I think, this is the problem though that you've got here is freedom of speech is all very well and good, but it does seem like in this day and age, we don't always have the luxury of doing that. And I think people do always need to be mindful of who they represent. When it comes down to it, I could write whatever I want on my social media and that could offend people, that we work with. And then it's up to me to be able to make a decision as to whether or not I would take that down. I think that circumstance has been seen, in our workplace, and we do have to be mindful of who we represent. And sometimes, while it's an uncomfortable conversation, sometimes that kind of censorship is okay. So I think we just need to look at things differently. I think we need to open our eyes, not be too sensitive, and understand that there's a bigger picture beyond who we are as an individual.
It's a Ben, Rob and Robbo, Ben, Rob and Rob.